up, Rangers? Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today we are going to try to customize this guy literally as fast as possible. My goal with this video is to not edit it. I might like stop and start the video just for sections, but other than that, we're gonna just try to blow through this as fast as possible. And I also want to do this to kind of make a little tutorial that's like easy for everybody to do. So this will actually like almost literally be like a tutorial, because usually it's just kind of like I'm usually just showing you guys how I work on the stuff. This is going to be, you'll see me do everything. So I don't really plan on editing a whole heck of a lot for this. But anyways, what we're going to be doing here isn't going to be anything super fancy. So this is also going to be really good for like a beginner or somebody who isn't very confident with painting. Because there's not really that much I'm really going to be doing. It's just going to be a wash and a couple of dry brushes to try to highlight some of the details. And other than that, it's going to be about it. So colors wise, we're also using fairly inexpensive acrylic paints. I got this apple black that we're using for the wash, which I got right here. All this is water with a little bit of black paint in it. And then I got this brushed metal. We got a lighter gray and a dark gray. Which we're going to start with the dark gray and then use the light gray to kind of just highlight some of the high points. Brush wise, I only have two here. Other than I might do a little bit of red, which I got some, it's a pearl red. You can use metallic red, it don't really matter. We're pretty much just doing it with this guy entirely metallics. For the most part, I'll leave the spines alone, but I kind of want to maybe dot up the eyes afterwards just to kind of highlight them a little better. And then if you wanted to add some reds in here too, which I'm probably still going to do. I'm not going to go super crazy with it because again, we're not really looking to spend a lot of time on this. So first and foremost, you also need either old rag or paper towels in order to clean up your wash. And then you're also going to want a hair dryer. This is probably the most important thing to have, and the most expensive thing, to be fair, because the paints are like $1 or $2 a piece. Like this guy, you get a small one for like 50 cents at Walmart. You're gonna need a hairbrush in order to dry them off quick, so you can. Again, we're gonna try to do this as quick as possible. The only part I won't show you guys is clear coating it, which you could just use an acrylic spray. Would probably be good for most people, except you got to kind of worry about the tail there. I use a mix between water and Mod Podge to seal these guys up with an airbrush. So that part will be done off camera, and I'll show you guys the finished results. But alright, so first and foremost, we're going to do the wash to get all the black in the crevices, and then we'll do the dry brushing. Alright, so for the wash, I'm going to be, it doesn't really matter what kind of brush you got. This one's just an old one I got hanging around out here that I kind of just use for dabbing in this sections, which is going to be great for this. So you just shift this over. It's going to get a little messy. I'd recommend getting a tray. My mat's kind of already junked up as it is, so I personally don't care. And then you just start just going over the entire thing. With this, and then we will wipe off the excess here in a few. just take my hairdryer. As you can see, it's already started to kind of dry a bit. I'm just gonna keep going until it's dry, so this part I'll cut out, but we'll come back once everything's all set up. As you see, you got some access. You can always pat it off with your paper towel. You don't want to wipe because I don't want to smear off the paint, but I want to try to get off whatever isn't going to actually dry correctly. Alright, we're going to do the same thing for the tail section here. Let's dip it in. Again, just going to kind of hit some parts, stab it a bit. Make sure get some of the black that isn't drying. Alright, so as you can see, he's already got a much better look to him. Still a little wet in a couple of sections, but that ain't going to really hinder too much. So next, we're going to be adding some of the dry brushing. Alright, so next we're going to be doing the dry brushing. First and foremost, I'm going to start with the dark gray, and then we'll hit the high ends with even more of the lighter gray. So you just want to get a little bit on the brush, and then start kind of just brushing over top of them. This will help bring out some of the colors. Because a lot of this too is really all we're doing is just kind of making it more metallic-y than it previously was. Part isn't super hard, it's just a little time consuming. Just want to make sure you get really good coverage over the entire figure. Trying to get into some of the nooks and crannies, but I ain't going too crazy. But the only thing really you just want to make sure is you're just not getting a lot of paint on your brush. You want it smooth and like a decent amount, but not enough that it's going to start filling in all the black we just put on. Plus, the nice thing about dry brushing too with this paint is it dries really fast. Especially since I'm blasting with the hair dryer and stuff repeatedly. So it's pretty easy for the touch. The nice thing about this paint job too is you don't really have to clear coat it if you didn't want to. Like for you guys personally, it might just be kind of a waste of time because handling it, you're not going to really lose any paint. Like unless you're planning on posing this thing all the time, then you might want to properly seal it. But for the most part, if you're just going to paint it, stick it on your shelf like this, overall would be alright. Because even if you did lose a little bit of paint here and there, it's not like you're going to really notice it. Trying to be super clean because again we're making more like, I wouldn't say battle damage, but he's definitely seen some action, so he'll look a little better standing next to a Godzilla. Because the game plan is this would probably be the one I use when the Monster Arts ones come out. So we'll have a Godzilla, at least Mechagodzilla looks good next to them. Okay, so now he's all shiny. Technically, we could probably leave it here, but I do want to add a little bit more color variety to it. I'm just going to kind of hit this section real quick. Alright, so next, I'm just drying off my brush because I don't want any of the dark gray to kind of be mixing in. So now I take my light gray, same thing, just want a little bit on my brush. And with this, I'm not going to be really trying to hit, as you guys saw, I was kind of going over everything. This, I'm only just going to be kind of hitting high points. And that's going to be about it for this. So I'm not going to go super deep into getting everything. Just going to be a little bit lightly over top. So now I'm just kind of knocking up a couple of the high points. And just helps to give them a little more color variety. he's got a nice little metallic shine to him. It's got a little bit of variety in all the grays, blacks, and metallics. Next, gonna do the same thing for the red here. Let's get a little bit on the brush. And just gonna try my best to go over just the red. So now, got a little bit of metallic here. If you really wanted to, if you got a smaller brush, kind of try to find a really tiny brush. Here we go. So something like this will do all right. Just gonna dry it off real quick and get a little bit of my red here. Just touch up around the eyes. If I really want to get fancy, we could add some black to the pupils, but again, just trying to do this quick. And for the most part, you don't need to do this, but kind of just want to highlight a couple of the red areas again that are covered up by the black. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to clear coat them real quick, and then we will move on to the review table so we can double check and see how we did. Alright, so here is the finished version of the custom Playmates MechaGodzilla with custom beam. I 3D printed myself. I plan on doing a video at some point. Probably actually going to be putting these up for sale too, once I get them painted and kind of figure out a price. Or possibly for memberships. It's another thing I'm thinking about doing. Like if you become a member, you get a free beam or something similar. But anyways, so there's definitely plenty of options, because then if I really wanted to, I could have drilled a little hole here for this to insert into, which is kind of what I think about doing after the fact. But for the purposes of this video, kind of unnecessary. One thing I did do off camera is I did put the little pupils in, but other than that, I think he turned out really good. Like, it's got a nice color variety. The wash did a really good job at helping heighten the detail. Same with the dry brushing. Gave him some extra color variety, especially with the metallic look, which is kind of what the guy was missing originally. And he looks like he's been in battle. And then after clear coating him, kind of moving around a bit now. Don't really have to worry about scuffing the paint too much. Like, granted, it's custom, so at some point you will rub off some of the paint, but for the most part, he will be fairly solid. But anyways, what do you guys think of him? Let me know in the comment section below if you guys are going to attempt to make this custom yourself. But help us beat this guy just by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys, like to keep up with the date with keep up to date with the channel. Screw that up and donate. Would greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.